We are outside the map, and we want to make you notice that sometimes we think we know a country by its big cities, high-speed trains, or its most famous monuments. But what is truly fascinating is often hidden elsewhere. Imagine walking through streets where the cobblestones sometimes seem to tell a story, where the half-timbered facades draw perfect geometries, and the balconies overflow with flowers in summer. In the most beautiful villages of Germany, time moves differently. Here there is no rush, only bells marking the rhythm from a medieval tower. Germany is a country of contrasts. While it moves strongly toward the future, it carefully protects scenes frozen in time. And that is where its magic lies. We are not just talking about pretty places, but villages that can transport us to a Europe that still breathes medieval history. These are places that seem straight out of a fairy tale. Tiny squares where everyday life still gathers around the market, rivers running past tilted houses, reflecting their colors in the water, and green hills crowned with castles watching from above, like guardians of another era. On this journey, you will discover storybook landscapes, traditions that survive the passage of centuries, and villages that seem written by the Brothers Grimm. Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Rothenburg ob der Tauber is one of those places that seems made for a movie, yet it exists. And it's in Bavaria, right in the heart of the famous Romantic Road. Perched on a hill overlooking the Tauber River, this walled town is considered Germany's medieval time machine. Walking through its cobblestone streets is like traveling to a century where knights, merchants, and artisans filled everyday life. What's remarkable is how Rothenburg has survived almost intact. Despite wars, fires, and inevitable modernization, the town retains its original 13th century layout. During World War II, it was nearly destroyed, but an agreement between American troops and the local population prevented the bombing. Thanks to that gesture, today we can admire one of the best preserved medieval towns in Europe. Among its highlights is the famous Night Watchman Tour, a unique experience where a guide dressed in a cape, carrying a lantern and halberd, tells stories and secrets of the town as if we were still in the Middle Ages. Its defensive towers and walls, which can still be walked, are further proof of a living past that breathes in every corner. And the legends are never lacking. The most famous is the Master Draft. According to tradition, in the 17th century, during the 30 Years' War, the mayor saved the town by drinking in a single gulp more than 3 liters of wine, impressing the enemy general and sparing Rothenburg from destruction. Every year, this feat is reenacted in festivals and celebrations commemorating that moment. Visiting Rothenburg is a feast for the senses. The sound of bells ringing from the plaza tower, the sweet aroma of Schneeballen, typical dough balls covered in sugar or chocolate, and the cold texture of the stone walls under your hands while watching the sunset over the red rooftops. Everything seems to conspire to make you forget the present and let yourself be carried away by the magic of another era. Bamberg. In the northern part of Bavaria, spread across 7 hills, stands Bamberg, a city that has perfectly blended art, tradition, and everyday life with unmatched charm. It's no coincidence that it is known as the Rome of the North. Like the Italian capital, Bamberg is built on 7 hills, each crowned with a church or monastery, giving it a majestic and spiritual air that sets it apart from other German cities. Beyond this solemn nickname, Bamberg hides picturesque corners such as the famous Little Venice. This fisherman's quarter, with 17th century timbered houses that seem to float over the Regnitz River, is one of the most photographed spots in Germany. Its colorful facades, balconies adorned with flowers, and small boats anchored on the shore resemble a painting that never loses life. The heart of the city also beats around its brewing heritage. Bamberg holds a unique record. It is the only place in the world where the historic center has 9 active breweries, each with traditional recipes passed down through generations. Here, beer is culture, identity, and local pride. On the artistic and spiritual level, Bamberg's Imperial Cathedral commands respect. Inside lies the famous Bamberg Rider, a 13th century equestrian sculpture shrouded in mystery. No one knows for certain whom it represents, though some link it to a Hungarian king, others to a messianic symbol. These enigmas add a special aura to the temple. And we cannot speak of Bamberg without mentioning its gastronomic gem, smoked beer. Made from malt dried over a wood fire, it has an intense, unique flavor that surprises anyone trying it for the first time. Bamberg is, ultimately, a place where imperial history, art, and everyday life mix with the taste of a beer that cannot be found anywhere else in the world. If you're enjoying this journey through the most beautiful villages in Germany, subscribe now and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next destinations we have prepared. Every week, we take you to hidden corners, secret stories, and dreamlike landscapes so you can feel like you're traveling with us. Dinkelsbühl. In the heart of Bavaria, along the famous Romantic Road, lies Dinkelsbühl, a town that seems straight out of a medieval illustration. Its greatest treasure is its defensive system, as it is one of the few towns in Germany that still preserves its medieval walls intact. Walking along them is like entering a fortress that has withstood the passage of centuries without losing its essence. The first thing that surprises visitors is its color palette. Each house in the historic center displays a different tone, from deep red to mustard yellow or soft green. This diversity is not random. In the Middle Ages, colors were used to identify guilds, families, and trades. And today they still give Dinkelsbühl a vibrant and unique atmosphere. Among its most fascinating stories is the Kinderzech, a festival that commemorates how, according to legend, the children of the town saved it during the 30 Years' War. Facing imminent occupation, the little ones supposedly moved the enemy troops with their innocence, sparing Dinkelsbühl from destruction. Every year, this feat is reenacted with parades, traditional costumes, and music in the streets. The defensive architecture continues to impress. Towers and gates rise imposingly, reminding visitors that this was a military stronghold in the Middle Ages. Every stone tells secrets of strategies and battles as visitors walk the same passageways used by the town's guards. But Dinkelsbühl is not only past. In its workshops, traditional crafts like carpentry and ceramics coexist with cafes and modern shops, making the town a bridge between living history and the present. Dinkelsbühl is ultimately an incredible fortress that beats in colors. Monschau. In the Eifel Mountains, in the west of North Rhine-Westphalia, lies Monschau, a small treasure where time seems to have found a refuge. Its isolation among hills and valleys has allowed it to preserve an almost intact authenticity. Here, traditions, half-timbered houses, and cobblestone streets remain as they were centuries ago. Far from the noise of big cities, Monschau owes much of its splendor to its historical textile industry. During the 18th and 19th centuries, wealthy magnates built factories, mansions, and warehouses, transforming the town into a center of artisan production, still reflected today in its architecture and the care of every urban detail. Each building speaks of a past of prosperity and creativity, combined with the rural charm of the region. Monschau's mountain architecture is adapted to the climate and terrain. Steep roofs, narrow streets, and balconies that seem to embrace the hills allow the town to withstand snow and heavy rain, while creating a harmonious urban landscape with the surrounding nature. Speaking of nature, the Eifel National Park acts as a silent guardian. Its forests, rivers, and trails surround the town, offering visitors a setting of tranquility and adventure. Walking through Monschau while listening to the whispers of the forest is to feel life in perfect balance between culture and nature. Each season completely transforms the town. In spring, the gardens bloom and the rivers sparkle in the sun. In autumn, the forests turn golden and reddish. In winter, snow covers the rooftops, creating a postcard scene. And in summer, the fresh mountain air invites walks and outdoor festivals. Monshao is, in every moment of the year, a refuge that renews its magic with each season. Meersburg. On the shores of Lake Constance, in Baden-Württemberg, lies Meersburg, a town where history and nature intertwine in an unparalleled way. Its main emblem is the medieval castle, considered the oldest inhabited castle in Germany. Its centuries-old towers and walls dominate the horizon, offering a view that combines the strength of the past with the serenity of the lake in front of them. The lake is not only a visual spectacle, but it also creates a unique microclimate. Its waters soften the winters and cool the summers, giving Meersburg an almost Mediterranean climate, ideal for vineyards that develop very particular characteristics here. The lakeside viticulture has produced unique wines, full of minerality and delicacy, which can only grow on the shores of alpine lakes, and have become one of the town's gastronomic jewels. Meersburg also has a literary side. Writers and poets found inspiration in its cobblestone streets, flowered balconies, and the reflection of the sun on the lake. Every corner seems to invite you to pause, contemplate, and let creativity flow. Contrast is another of its charms. Medieval above, modernity below, and an infinite lake ahead. While the historic center preserves the essence of past centuries, the lake promenade offers bars, restaurants, and outdoor activities that connect tradition with contemporary life. The reflection of the castle and old houses on the waters of Lake Constance creates a sense of calm that seems to stop time. Meersburg is, ultimately, a place where you can touch history, breathe a unique landscape, and taste a wine carrying centuries of sun, water, and tradition. Every step through its streets, every glance at the lake, invites you to linger a little longer and let yourself be carried away by its magic. Goslar. In the heart of Lower Saxony, at the foot of the Harz Mountains, lies Goslar, a city that for centuries was a symbol of wealth and power. Its fortune was born underground. The silver mines exploited since the Middle Ages not only fueled the local economy, but also helped build entire empires. Every coin minted and every mineral extracted wove the prosperity that allowed the construction of palaces, churches, and streets that still retain their splendor today. The architecture of power is evident in every corner. The Imperial Palace, with its imposing facade and impenetrable tower, watched over the city and its inhabitants. Around it, the houses of merchants and artisans display ornate facades and timber framing that reflect wealth and status. Each building told a story of commerce, politics, and ambition, and still today impresses with its majesty. But Goslar also experienced decline. The mines were depleted, and the city lost some of its medieval shine. However, its renaissance came with its recognition as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which preserved its streets, squares, and monuments, making it a living testimony of German history. Mining traditions remain alive, even though extraction has ceased. Festivals, parades, and rituals recall the lives of the miners and the importance of their work, maintaining a connection with a past that still shapes the local identity. Beneath the city, hidden underground mysteries await. Galleries and secret tunnels cut through the rock, ancient roots of miners that hold stories of effort, risk, and fortune. Exploring Goslar is thus a journey between the surface and the deep, between imperial glory and the secrets the earth keeps. Goslar is, ultimately, a place where wealth and history are breathed in every street, and where the past still shines in the light of the present. Schwerin. In the region of Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania, known as the Land of 1,000 Lakes, lies Schwerin, a city that seems suspended between water and sky. Its most recognizable jewel is the Schwerin Castle, built on a small island, with towers and battlements that have earned it the nickname Neuschwanstein of the North. From any shore, the castle's silhouette is reflected in the water, inviting dreams and a sense of being lost in a fairy tale setting. But Schwerin is more than its castle. The city is surrounded by 12 lakes, which shape both the landscape and the daily life of its residents. Walks by the water, boats navigating the canals, and the lake breeze create a serene atmosphere, where nature and architecture blend in harmony. Each season transforms the reflections on the lakes and the colors of the sky, making every visit feel unique. The ducal history remains alive in Schwerin. For centuries, it was the residence of the Dukes of Mecklenburg, and many of its palaces and public buildings reflect the power and refined taste of the nobility. The city's architecture combines romantic and eclectic styles, integrating neoclassical facades, medieval towers, and ornamental details that make each street a visual journey through different eras. Schwerin is also a green capital. Gardens, parks, and tree-lined avenues occupy much of the city, making it a refuge for those seeking fresh air without leaving the historic center. Residents coexist with nature, strolling, sailing, or simply enjoying the light reflected in the water. Visiting Schwerin is discovering a city where history, architecture, and lakes combine to create a unique experience. A northern pearl that shines between water and sky, inviting dreams with every reflection. Exploring these villages is like discovering an invisible thread that connects them all. Time seems to have stopped. Cobblestone streets, timbered houses, castles, and towers remind us that history is not only studied, but can be inhabited and felt. Each village conveys the same sense of care, respect, and pride for what has been inherited from previous generations. Germany has managed to preserve this heritage with a combination of discipline, cultural awareness, and passion for history. Thanks to this, these towns are not frozen museums, but living places where architecture, traditions, and nature coexist with modern life, creating authentic and memorable experiences. Visiting these villages reminds us of the importance of protecting what we love and connecting with roots that teach us patience, creativity, and resilience.